The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.
Peace to the tribe. I have been talking in a minute. Obviously, let me get some water. Peace to the tribe. Peace to the. Let me try that again. Peace to the tribe. Peace to the collective, man. It's the Hood Mystic representing hoodmystic.com. This is the Shift Report where shift happens. I am the Hood Mystic, your host. Today, we're going to be talking about Aquarius through the houses. The sun will be entering in Aquarius started February 13th. We'll be in Aquarius all the way till March 14th. So, therefore, it's good to know how this energy will affect you personally. And I've been making it a habit, making it a rule that when I discuss astrology, I want to talk about it in reference to the individual because we can talk about the temperature all over the world, but it's not really going to serve you if I'm telling you the temperature in Brazil and you live in Flatbush. So, with that being said, I just want to create a space where people can come, learn about astrology, and take something from the particular conversation that we're having, rather me just rambling, hitting you with mumbo jumbo, and maybe you feel good, maybe you feel bad, but here we're trying to just teach as opposed to get out of the emotions of it all. So, with that all being said, let's just get into the infomercial as people file in. And then once people file in, we can begin our presentation. So, I'm going to share my screen. And the first thing that I want to talk about with the collective is the first link in the description, which is going to be the Substack article, Sun Enters Aquarius. And I also would invite people to, if they haven't subscribed to the Substack, subscribe because tomorrow there'll be another article dropping in reference to the quarter moon, which is a very good article. A lot of gems. It's a worksheet included in that one as well. And then Friday, I'm dropping another article in reference to the Neptune conjunct North Node conjunction. So, with all this being said, I want people to join the Substack because it's just my goal and it is just my purpose. What I really want to do is help people understand astrology, not for my sake, but for your own personal sake. So this is why I'm writing, and this is my intention when people are reading these articles. So this article, which is corresponding with this video, is just more or less the article, the video, it all represents just what I'm trying to put forward to the collective. And so, with all of that being said, uh, join the Substack, man, because I try my best to make use of my time in the best way that I know how. A lot of time is spent in studying these particular concepts where I know people got kids, got jobs, got a whole bunch of stuff going on. And they really don't got time to really be paying attention to how long the sun is going to be in Aquarius and then how is it going to affect me? What house is Aquarius in my chart? Like I know people don't really be thinking about that. So I take my time to make sure that maybe you can begin to understand it and not only understand it, begin to promote and inflect what you have learned in your waking life. So when you're able to scale back, you're like, well, I'm understanding this quality about myself that It's been there this whole time, but I never really bear witness to. So that is the sun transits. The sun's always going to transit. It's always going to be in a particular house, and that house is going to affect each and every person differently. So although the sun is in Aquarius, let's just say for your whole household, it might be in your fifth house and in your partner's eighth house. So it's the same energy, but it affects you all differently. And where you might have a rough go in it, he has a hard time go of it, and you're not understanding it, you think it's all chaotic and it's all random. But the reality is that the sun is just in your fifth house and you have to figure that part out. The sun is in his eighth house and he has to figure it out. So the more that you begin to simply take note of it, bring your awareness to it, the easier that this thing will be. But I'm not getting into the article as much as I want people to get to the Substack, read the article. It take you 3 minutes to read. And an additional thing I would like to say, visit hoodmystic.com if you want to know anything about me, if you want to tap into anything that I'm offering, as well as these weekly updates. So every Sunday, I'm outlining the astrological transits for the week, the articles that I plan to write that week, and just the overall overview of how I see the week energetically. This week's theme is, a chill guy having a chill week. I really feel that this energy is very chill, meaning that if there's any type of projects that you've been meaning to get to, this is the time to do it. There's not going to be many disruptions, many blockages to whatever you want to do. So, chill doesn't mean uneventful. It just means that, the canvas is clear. So with a clear canvas, a chill canvas, you can paint whatever picture you want to paint. So we're talking about Aquarius energy, and Aquarius energy is very creative. And the reason that I say Aquarius energy is very creative because it's in the 11th house and it opposes the fifth house. And the fifth house is the conduit for creativity or talent. Now, we probably know a bunch of talented people, but talent is not enough. You might know somebody that's talented, but they're not able to bring it to the 11th house. Like, I was just thinking about Drake, that just popped into my mind. Drake probably not the best singer, best rapper, best dancer, best performer, best artist, but when you talk about the 11th house, he's connected to the most people. He has the most Spotify listens, the most people like tapped into it. So that's the 11th house. So he's somewhat talented. A better rapper than Drake. A better singer than Drake, but you wouldn't necessarily compare their success to Drake's because his 11th house, which is creative and talent, but we're also talking about putting it on stage, being critiqued, or providing value to people at a high level. And a lot of people don't really see themselves as doing this for real, especially if like you're programmed to have a job or to have a career, have a house, take care of your house, have money, things of that nature. The 11th house is much more risky than security. It's security, but it's all because Saturn rules Aquarius at a certain level, but it's also the discipline to just be like, to try something different, to be so left field. I posted a meme the other day that said my stupidity is so extreme that it loops back into wisdom. So I really look at Aquarius like that, where you could be so unique and so out there with your disposition that it works for you. You become a genius, in your marketing. Like I never seen nobody market themselves like this. It's a couple of rappers that come to mind. It's Dank DeMoss. You probably don't know these rappers, but if you do, they're like on the heavier set side. but they're making noise and they're marketing. But to the average person, like, if you weigh 500, would you say you weigh 200 pounds now? Okay, for if you was to throw in 300 more pounds on your body that you already have, but you gonna have internet clout, you gonna be a 500 pound fill in the blank, and people gonna love you for being 500 pounds. Would you do it? Most people are gonna say no, but some people say, "Man, that sound like a good trade off to me." So it's very unique, and people, you got 200 followers on Instagram, but you really trying for real. And they got like a million subscribers and they like not trying for real. So you just really begin to look at things from a unique perspective. And this is Aquarius, this is 11th house. This is a realm of the chart where it shouldn't make sense. It's an indirect way of looking at things. And I'm a sun in the 11th house. So the reward for me in doing work like this is that indirectly it pays off in a different way. And a lot of times I get things that happen to me or for me that people, it wouldn't happen to the average person, but I know the work that I do. So it could be anything. And I would say that anybody who have the sun in the 11th house, sun in Aquarius, moon in Aquarius, you have to make and create your own luck. You have to make and create your own luck. If you have Aquarius rising, or you got planets in Aquarius, you got planets in the 11th house, you are very, 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 very fortunate. And a lot of it goes into recognizing it. And then when you recognize it, you might have a product or a business or a talent or something, and it's like, well, I'm not marketing it. I'm not getting out in front of enough people, or I'm not talking about it enough. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm a good singer, but one day it's going to work out for me. And it's like, no, the sun is in Aquarius now, right? The sun is Aquarius for the next month. So you have to like take advantage of this time, take advantage of this energy, and not look at it like, oh yeah, one day. No, we've been in this shit long enough. It's 2025. Ones in the chat, like when we was growing up, niggas cannot conceive of the concept of 2025. It was a certain point when they was giving out jail sentences, like, what I'm saying, he don't get out until 2009, and I would be like, it would be like 1994, and I'd be like, damn, that nigga is never getting out, right? And now people be getting sentences like he don't get out till 2056, but shit, that's like in 20 years. And it's crazy, but we are in the future. So when you think about Aquarius, you're actually talking about the future, but the future is now. So when we go through these houses, and I really want people to fully understand and understand where Aquarius is at in their chart so they can take advantage of their talent, take advantage of their, so Aquarius is your family and your friends that are strangers. And each and every person has a million friends in the world right now that they could tap into right right here right now. Give me a second. But this is like a magic portal cheat code, right? So it's like you gotta have a key and a lock. Now go with me now. You got a key and a lock, and you gotta open that key, but each key have a different alignment to it, to whereas every key is not gonna open each lock. So if you really serious about this shit, you're gonna look at where Aquarius is at in your chart. You're gonna look at what house Aquarius is in your chart, and you're going to figure out that key. So you're going to figure out your talent and how you can reach people. And a lot of people, man, they try to like and for a lot of people it crashes and burns because you do it for the wrong reasons. You do it for selfish reasons. You do it because you can make a lot of money, because you went to college for marketing and you could exploit the people. There's a lot of college educated people that prey on spiritual people, because a lot of spiritual people are not educated at the highest levels. But when you get into the truth of the reality, education for a lot of times is witchcraft and trickery. So our people, ones in the chat, our people love college. Nothing wrong with college, but people use college and the things that they learn in college as a way to put other people into witchcraft, put people into trickery through doing things, right? So you wanna be an engineer, but you taking liberal arts. Ones in the chat. You taking college introductory courses before you can get into your major. Ones in the chat. And then you got to take engineering one, engineering two, engineering three, poly engineering, all these different types of things in reference to your major. And then you get an exam. If you got test phobia, you might not even get it. You might not even pass. So the world might have the world's best engineers that couldn't pass because they had test phobia. And who gives a fuck in this patriarchal Western dominated society? Right? It's not a level where a person can transcend and ascend beyond the limits that's already set before you. So college educated people operate within them limits. Excelente. When we talk about Aquarius, you talk about Saturn, you talk about Uranus, this is like a double sided cheat code. It's like, yeah, if you discipline, you can break through those barriers and limits. But see, you talking about somebody that's educated up into the day. Like I've been studying all day. It's 5:40 and I had to get work done at my house, so my kids wasn't here. So it was just me and the contractor. He been here since 9. That's 9, 10. I've been studying ever since then. If I'm not with my kids, if I'm not with my girl, if I'm not doing extracurricular activities, I'm actively studying. And I say all of this to say it's a lot of college educated people that as soon as they got their degree, they put their books on the shelf and they started telling niggas what to do. Ones in the chat. They was gonna help you. Ones in the chat, they gonna elevate you and put you on a higher pedestal because they don't need the books no more because they already got their degree. They already got solidified in a bunch of shit that don't matter. Then they get their degree. They don't even go into professions relegated to their major. Now think about how crazy is that? You went to school and didn't even you went to school to be something that you're not even being. And a lot of people then try to invert themselves into astrology, and astrology is a very dense science on the level it presents itself as simple, and even to a certain degree it's simple, but then there's a lot of mathematical equations and inversions and conjunctions that uh, I thought it was chocolate milk, but then you added pineapples to it and Salisbury steak. I don't know what to call it, right? And when you get situations like that in astrology, people then just kind of like short circuit. But that becomes a problem because if I was going to teach you engineering, but I didn't teach you the depths, the minute, intricate details of the specific problem, you you would short circuit too. So there's astrology on the internet, and then it's the science of human development. It's the science of magic. It's the science of transformation. It's the science of gnosis that most people don't really want to deal with it because most people don't actually know. So I'm saying all of this to say, keep up with me by checking out my website, hoodmystic.com. If you ever want to know what's the transits for the week, if you ever want to know, like, if you want to book a reading, every Sunday we holding classes. Tap into the classes. We'll get you tapped into the Discord where everybody is who taking place in the classes. taking place in the Discord. We sharing, we growing. We're on the root chakra. Next week we're doing the sacral chakra, of course, but we're already leading up to it, and just the whole process is because the thing about me is that I learn, I teach, and I teach what I learn. So my root chakra process has been activated too. My kundalini process has been activated too, and that's the most beautiful part of it, because sometimes you get caught up in the amount of people or the lack of people or whatever the case may be, but it's just getting me to a point where just doing it for the collective, in a sense where we're all on the same page, right? And if you're looking for an Aquarian community that's like into this type of stuff, activating chakras, understanding Kundalini, visit hoodmystic.com. You can join the courses a la carte or buy them all in one. And that will be the link in the description, or visit colombianexchange.com. Check out the Chakra Nova 777 intensive. And yeah, tap in, join in. We doing some amazing, amazing things. And always say, like, if the conversation that I'm having with you, right? If this conversation resonates with you, is from the work that I'm doing and the development that I'm specifically experiencing. So that's pretty much it as far as the infomercial and just leading us up into the conversation. But we're going to go through Aquarius, through the houses. I said that I wanted to go to the gym, so not that there's going to be super, super rapid fire. We got 12 houses. We got about an hour and 15 minutes. So I think that gives me more than enough time to get through this thing. But before we get into the slideshow, people might not know how to figure out what house Aquarius is in their chart. So there's a link in the description where is find your houses or something to that effect. Click that link, is going to bring you to this page. What you want to do is put in your birthday. My birthday is August 23rd, 1984, the time of birth, which would be 10 a.m. The birth city, Boston, Mass. Shout out to the Bean Town. And then that's going to bring you to this screen right here. And so what I'm looking for is Aquarius on my chart, which is going to be two squiggly lines, two horizontal squiggly lines. On my chart, this is going to be in the lower right hand corner, those green two squiggly lines. Or you can look at the outer circle, look for the sun. This is a sidereal chart, so the sun is going to be in Aquarius. What chart is Aquarius in my chart? It is in my fifth house. So I'll keep that in mind as I go through this particular slideshow. I don't I don't look at my chart like I don't be knowing exactly, because I don't want to have bias when I'm writing. So even if I have an idea, I was like, it was either the third or the fifth house in my chart, but I didn't really like key into it. Like, because I really just be like wanting to be an astrologer to the point where I just want to look at this thing raw dog daddy, pause, and just give it, just look at everything fresh. So when I'm doing a reading or I'm reading a chart, like, I just rely on my study. I rely on what I know, and then it'll get to certain points where I don't know, and then I'll learn more. And so, like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years, give or take. And so I do this because I love doing it, because I want to do it. I'm not doing this because a professor is going to give me a degree or a university is going to give me a degree. So that's the difference between Western ways of looking at education and then actually learning from your soul, where there's shit that you don't know, but there are things that you absolutely can know if you give yourself some time, some focus, and some energy. So look at your chart, find where Aquarius is at, figure out the house. The house is going to be those inner numbers, right? So those inner numbers, when I look at Aquarius in my heart, in my chart, that inner number is going to be 5, and I'm going to lock in. Aquarius is in my fifth house. That's going to be the first thing on my notes. Wherever, if you know where Aquarius is at in your chart, go ahead and comment or put in the chat while we chopping it up. What house is Aquarius at in your chart? Ashe. So Aquarius through the houses. This is going to be strategic movement, how to move forward. And I really get these messages from channel. So I might say a certain word and I'll let you know that this came from channel. So like moving through the houses, right? Moving through this energy, like getting up and moving, like literally don't be just not moving. Like whatever you do, don't move, especially if you got legs. Shout out to my disabled community, like Ashe to you, right? Because we not even talking about you. We talking about the people outside of that community that's not even active and moving, because we are moving up on a quarter moon to Scorpio. And unfortunately, right, this generation is so wild and crazy. Y'all be having sex. Y'all be having sex with all different type of people. So when we have an Aquarius quarter moon to Scorpio, and you're not even in tune with that area of your life where you do an emotional inventory, sheesh, man, it get deep. So with all this being said, how you gonna move? Cause yo, it'd be like Brandy featuring Wanye Morris, lonely, broken hearted, and your ass just sitting in the bed. One's in the chat. You just in the bed, not moving because you sad, right? Or things didn't go your way. Like things is not going your way, so you not moving, which is crazy because to get shit to go in your way, you gotta move. So how to move during these next 30 days is essential, right? My son is in the 11th house, so I feel like an honorary Aquarius personally. So let's get it. And I feel like I'm rather unique at the same time. So as I stated earlier, sidereally, the sun will be in Aquarius from February 13th to March 14th. If you know anybody that's born between those days, February 13th to March 14th, guess what? They're really in Aquarius. So you looking at that person that's born March 1st that been calling themselves a Pisces all this time, and you realizing like, oh, you actually a weirdo. This is, I thought you was this emotional sapsucker. Here it is, you out here changing the world. So with all that being said, um they probably got a Pisces tattoo and more shit. That's the diabolical work, right? You get them damn tattoos in reference to your Western sign and you looking crazy. Like one's in the chat, what the hell? You, like, why is you getting a tattoo of your Western side? That's not even where the shit was when you was born, sweetheart. A man created that system, a white man to be exact. And this is who you, and this is the truth. This is the guy you name your company after. Rockefeller died of AIDS. That was the end of his chapter. People getting the tattoos. Like, I'm a Pisces. No, you're not. You an Aquarius from February 13th to March 14th. Let's keep it a buck. So, what are what are the themes of Aquarius? Now, we are entering into the age of Aquarius. You can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it because it's 2025 in real life and everybody got a cell phone, which is crazy because I was a little kid in the 90s and nobody had a cell phone. Like nobody had a cell phone because it wasn't invented. The technology wasn't here. The technology got to be valid because everybody got a cell phone. Like you not even gonna leave the house. You one's in the chat. If you one's in the chat, if you don't go take a number two without your cell phone. Let me go ahead and put a two. I gotta keep her. I'm gonna keep it real today, y'all. I promise. I'm gonna put a two in the chat. Oh, I said a two. Oh, that was so funny. In my own mind. One's in the chat if you use your phone to take a number two. I for sure don't go into that motherfucker without that damn phone. And which is a result of Aquarian nature. So Aquarius is if you're an older Aquarius, you the world has responded to what you needed. You would be listening to music in the house. We came into the world, everybody was listening to music in the house, right? And then we was like, man, I'm going to school. Why can't I listen to music as I walk to school? So the technology was like, these kids, they want to listen to music as they go to school. So they came up with Walkmans in our generation. You got to think. Y'all think in the 60s, 70s, and 80s they didn't want to walk to school listening to goddamn Al Green? You don't think they wanted to walk to school, drive around, listening to they Isley Brothers, but they couldn't because the technology wasn't there. So if you was born like 1979 and beyond, you actually seen this shit shift. Like you still alive, you was doing everything that they was doing in 1950, and now you doing everything that they doing in the year 3000 right now. So this is like some real serious shit that's going on in reference to your mind and the technology. And it gets crazier because they got the AI. And the AI is in everything. The AI is everywhere. The AI making everything easier. And it's like, yeah, it's going to get to a point, ladies and gentlemen, where niggas is going to be like, damn, you don't be using AI? You don't got you a robot? Damn, your life must be hard. Damn, you out here struggling. They don't got no AI or no robot. You still using a calculator? That's crazy. So you got to then be starting to think like, what am I even going to teach my kids? The crazy part about this particular energy and this particular time is that you're teaching your children shit that don't even matter. Because everything you teaching them, they could talk to an AI or a robot, like, and the AI robot be like, "Okay, I'll do that for you," and that's just how it's going to be perpetually. So this is good and it's bad because people is not going to people getting dumber and dumber by the day. So you got to then begin to look at this particular energy and see where you fit in that because there are going to be things introduced in reference to utilizing technology and how some people can work with it and some people can't. So let's just get into the conversation so people can, know what I'm talking about. So Aquarius through the houses, how to move, February 13th through March 14th. The sun will be transiting your Aquarius house. It's a quick caveat. Some people will have um, Aquarius in the third and second house, or the fourth and fifth house. It might border two houses. Then that's what it is. You got Aquarius in the third and fourth house, and that's where we talk about chocolate milk. Whenever you got chocolate milk, whenever you got a conjunction, whenever you got to combine two things, you are now entering into the realms of chemistry where things is going to be very different for you as they are for other people. So I would say count it as a blessing. When I look at my chart, Aquarius is exactly in my fifth house. It don't border nothing. So it just depends. You just got to look at your chart and then be a scientist, be a chemist, and be a mathematician. And it's not hard. Anybody can do it. So let's get into it. Aquarius. in the first house. And so what I did with this, what I did with this slideshow is each house is going to give you a picture. And that picture is just to get you into the concept of the energy, like to stimulate your right brain was in the chat. And then your left brain is going to be the information, but you might look at the picture and get it immediately. And I'm not saying that ODB got Aquarius in his first house, but I'm very intuitive when it comes to this stuff. And I'll look at it and I'll think of an image of a person that satisfies what I'm trying to say. So Aquarius in the first house, because when we look at Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, this is ultimate education. And a lot of college educated people, because they can operate in a system, they're under a false pretense that they're actually smart. But in the reality of the world, ODB is considered a genius. I had dreams of ODB. This man got a turtleneck. He got like a CD collection. Every CD you could ever think of. Like this man is ODB is the man for real. He presents himself down in this realm as a fool. That's really how, like, that's really what it is. And so, Aquarius in the first house, like, you might see this person with a baddie, but they look crazy. You might see Shorty, she got her a Floyd, like, that nigga Floyd, right? But she looking kind of like her edges are showing this shit. Cause it's like Aquarius in the first house is just it's just an energy. It's just a vibe. Aquarius is very sexual. I don't think I said that, but the ways for which Aquarius moves through the world is just advanced. So advance looks crazy to us. Advance looks uncouth. Advance looks unorganized. Advance looks like an issue or a problem. Vince looks like a rebellious person that needs to be, hey man, shut the fuck up. What am I doing? You too fucking unique. Right? So let's just get into this. I'm gonna zoom into this so I can see a little bit clearer on my end. So number one, uniqueness. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Follow your own trends. Don't ride the wave, create the wave. Start shopping at thrift stores. Stop wearing regular shit that people was wearing. Start looking online for shit. Start making your shit. Start sewing. Was in the chat. Self improvement. Cultivate your look and aesthetic. Shine on these boys and girls. Okay? And then it's like, hood, it's all about clothes, it's all about your aesthetic. Listen, you getting judged in your first 7 seconds anyways. And it's not about how you look. It's about all of the other houses in your chart that is going to benefit from your aesthetic, getting yourself into the door. So, my young ladies that want to wear tutus, bring tutus and combat boots and them striped basketball shorts. You know what I'm saying? Look like the girl from Joker, Harley Quinn. Get that type of energy, like, but be a but be an accountant. You know what I'm saying? Be a receptionist, but just have ill, crazy, futuristic swag when you walk into the office. You like, like it's something about you, and you'll know because it's just you're not afraid to be you, and they'll be like, we usually would say something to our receptionist because of the image, but I mean, you got it going on, sister girlfriend. Keep doing that thing, like keep, stand in that. Don't hide from how you want to dress, and don't be feeling like, oh, my job not going to accept me for having dreads. You don't know that. They might. It might be the antennas that you need to make yourself, like the color scheme that you choose might be the color scheme that you need to choose to subdue the workplace. Like you gotta get really in tune. Like today I wanna be a ballerina, tomorrow I wanna be a policeman. Like you gotta be into this shit, right? You gotta be into this shit. And what do Shakespeare say? Every it's all a stage. All right. So Aquarius in the first house, master your aesthetic. Stop going to fucking Target. It was in the chat. They be having some cool shit from time to time, but come on now. We all seen the same Pink Floyd shirt by now, bro. It's not doing it what it's supposed to do. Yeah, I'm gonna just go grab these Levi's real quick. Call it a day. Like spruce up your aesthetic. Stop being lame. Right? Shout out Ashe to ODB. Aquarius in the second house. So we talking about in Aquarius in the second house. I say this in all of these videos, but I'll say it again. A lot of these concepts you might sit like, well, I don't get into cryptocurrency. My Aquarius is in the second house. And it's like, yeah, we're laying out prescriptions. That's like saying, um, yeah, man, I don't got no sickness. I don't need to be healthy. Like it don't really work like that. Like a lot of this shit is preventative. Yeah, my Aquarius is in the second house, and I'm not rich. Well, this is your key to unlock that door. And I'm not about to sit and deal with nobody that got Aquarius in their second house and they ain't up on no money on. They just what? If you Aquarius in the second house, you don't got your money together, you on some leechy vibes. You leeching off the fam. You leeching off the fam, bruv. You gotta get your shit together. And it's cool. You might be Aquarius in the second house, 20 years old, still living with your mom. You know, you got that story going for you, right? Yeah, man, I was living with my mom. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was watching this video. Hood said Aquarius in the second house. And I started to think, or matter of fact, I started to meditate, and my higher self came to me and said, "Invest in this thing," and I invested in it. Yeah, it been 4 years, and I look back, I done triple X all, I done 100X my money, man. Or my Aquarius in the second house, and I got a good job, I'm making good money, but I be blowing it on shit. I like to travel, I like to eat good. DoorDash is my I'm the number one financial supporter of DoorDash. Like, oh, you bought stocks? No, I just buy meals. I feast. Like, oh, okay. So Aquarius in the second house, you already rich. You just not budgeting. You don't have no discipline. You too unique, right? Like old dirty bastard. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, you gotta like wisen up, or they'll take you out. And that's the thing. I heard some shit earlier where it's like, yeah, it'll be our vices that we choose to partake in that will be the thing that take us out. And then the powers that be said, look, we didn't do nothing. We didn't make her order DoorDash. we didn't put a gun to her head or nothing. It's like she just wanted it. So, now she got diabetes. So it's like what else could you do with that money? Like really get into a space where you budgeting, saving, investing, and learning. Aquarius is like that part of that chart where you on YouTube and you learning. You type in masterclass, you on Udemy, you somewhere and you learning. And it's like, some people just don't even feel like they can be that person that's making that money. And that's the part of the situation where it's not true. So the first things first, operate in a budget. Like, and when I say operate in a budget, only get the shit that you need, and then think about what other things you can do with that money. You got a nest egg, you got a savings, you got a trust. You got something operating under the surface that's going to come in your life, and then you want to be like, all right, let me buy DoorDash meals for everybody. And it's like, no, you getting some taxes, and you like, all right, uh, I'm gonna just set this 1,000 aside for DoorDashes, and it's like, no, like get into some science, get into some understanding. The second deacon of Aquarius is the Six of Swords. That is called science. Now, that science is going to be the science of financial instruments, financial literacy, because everything you want is in reference to you being financial literate. So at a certain point, I don't want to do it because it just I don't feel like doing it. Hood. That just seemed like too much. I don't know about a meme coin or a Solana. You can't tell the judge that. You can't tell the court system that. You can't tell the landlord that. You can't tell the cops that. I ain't know I wasn't supposed to be going 100 down this residential. I ain't even know. They don't care. Saturn rules Aquarius. You gotta like look at your chart. This is the key. Open the door, and now you financial literate, and you helping yourself, and you helping other people, and you got something going. You got something going at a level that, damn, guess what? I'm able to do the shit that I want to do now, hood. I ain't never traveled outside of the country. Like, I want to travel outside of the country one day. Well, you got to get financial literate. But I won't do that. Right now, it's so many unconventional income sources out here as far as rideshare, DoorDash, delivery, meme coins, crypto, stocks, Weeble, all types of shit. Get into the science of something. And once again, independent thinking, because don't get caught up in no like scams. And that's easier said than done. So this is not a part where you just like, yeah, I paid $500 to join this group. They're going to give me all of these secret stock tips, and I'm going to become a millionaire. And it's like, all right, that was part. That was how they make their money, getting your goofy ass to pay $500 for a group. But let's get into the reality of the thing. Deep study turns into deep pockets. You dig? I said deep study turns into deep pockets, you dig? And we only talking about the shit that you want to do. Well, like, yeah, hood, that really resonated with me. So I went to Delta and I said, man, I got $500 worth of resignation. And they was like, yeah, we not gonna give you no plane ticket. But hood, but Delta lady that work at the airport, TSA agent, this flight really resonates with me. This really resonate with me. Yeah, you're not getting on this flight. But then when we talk about spiritual pursuits, we only talk about the things that resonate with you. Deep study turns into deep pockets. Whether cryptocurrency resonate with you or not, it's here. And what you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to deal with it. Aquarius in the second house. And I'm not even saying crypto. You can learn about uh, all types of financial instruments. IRA, trust, taxes. Right? You could be filing people's taxes, making a killing, learning about tax credits. Where's Aquarius at in your chart? If it's in the second house, you got some work to do. And I will also say, if Aquarius is in your second house and you know all of this already, and you sitting on top of the world like Brandy and Mace, sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world, top of the world, is at a certain point where you're gonna start helping folks. Hey, and if you resonate with what I'm saying, let me be the first person that you help. Okay? I want to know some financial instruments too. One's in the chat. Whoever hear what I'm saying, chat, let them know that we want one's in the chat. If you want some financial help, you want to be like Brandy and Mace too? Sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. All right, start you a Discord or a Telegram or something. All right. Aquarius in the third house. My Aquarians in the third house. First things first, start that podcast. I know you've been thinking about it. I know you've been like, man, I want to start a podcast. I got like 5,000. I was going to get the cameras, the mics. Well, I don't know, man, if I should really like start it and shit, man. I'm not even sure, man. Like, why would anybody even listen to me, man? And it's like, yeah, you got Aquarius in your third house. These is keys that open doors. Keys open doors. Keys open doors. All right. So when you looking at Aquarius in your chart, you're not looking at some shit where it's like a personality trait. This is the 11th house. So if you talk about the 11th house, you talk about the 12th house, you talk about the 10th house, you're talking about starting at the 8th house, you're talking about transformation. You're actually talking about working with the soul at a higher level and having a higher resonance. Aquarius, it's a point. I got my phone in my hand. I'm gonna do some research real quick. One's in the chat if y'all like the video. Like the video if y'all like the video. Sharabisha. So the Sharabisha nakshatra is ruled by Saturn. It represents the veiling star. So why am I saying the veiling star? We're talking about parts of you that you're not really in tune with all the time, and that's okay because we talking about being unique. Most people they know about basketball, they know about Beyonce's latest album, they know about their career choice, they know how much money they got in their home loan before they can pull out to get equity, so forth and so on. They know about their grandma, they know about African American history, whatever the fuck that is. They know all of these particular things, but when you talk about what is the specific thing that you're here for, that is veiled to most people. Most people don't have a clue. And if they didn't have a job where people was paying them money for doing something, they would be extremely lost. Very rare are you find some person that's going to stand in their uniqueness. And I can speak to this because I stated earlier my son is in the 11th house, which is ruled by Aquarius. If I knew that it was okay to be me, I would be way farther along. But I didn't. It didn't ever click or hit. I was trying to figure out how I can connect with people in reference to whatever they got going on. I wasn't thinking about how I could connect to people by being my authentic self. So as we go through these actual houses, this is one of the things that comes into play. We're like, what am I going to start a podcast about, hood? First things first, you got to deal with your soul. You got to have a relationship with your 10th house. So your 10th house or your Capricorn is going to be in that other house. So it's Aquarius in the third house, Capricorn going to be in your second house. You actually got to treat this shit like a tandem if you serious about opening that door. Because at a certain level, you a sex worker and you want to start a podcast. Obviously, you're going to talk about sex work, right? You an engineer, you want to start a podcast. Obviously, you're going to talk about engineering. But if you work at AT&T and you a goddamn call service representative and you got Aquarius in the third house, you more or less like not really motivated to start a CSR rep podcast or no shit like that. So at a certain level, it takes a certain point of meditation, getting in tune with your higher self. And I'm telling you, what tarot card rules Aquarius is the star. And when I say that this shit work, this shit will save your life. If you don't know how to move through this bitch, submit to your higher self. Submit to your higher self. Higher self, I don't know what I'm supposed to do a podcast about. But I want to start a podcast. I got the money to start a podcast. I got the crew to start a podcast. What we going to talk about? Higher self said, "Let me lead you. Let me guide you." Tech and networking. It's so many different places. Wherever you feel comfortable. Discord, Instagram, Facebook groups, Twitter Spaces. There's other places such Tumblr, Pinterest, even. But in order to understand Aquarius, you're not going to understand it by all your friends like wear Jordans or all your friends like the Cowboys. Y'all meet every Sunday to watch Cowboy games and shit like that. This ain't that. This is that dream of Gabriel, and you need to find people who have a relationship with Archangel Gabriel. This is Pambajira, and you trying to find other Pambajiras. You trying to find other sacred sexual workers. I'm telling you, it's prime time to open that shit up and create the groups that represent who you are. The problem with this, and I'm gonna say this so many times. Well, I don't know what I'm really supposed to be interested in. Submit to your higher self. Aquarius in the third house, you one of those types of people where you speak things into existence. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That becomes a reality. And that's what you need to shake yourself out of. Like it's so many times where I'm trying to tell people the way that you speak about this shit is the problem. The way that you view it is the problem. When you become intentional, everything you say, your world is going to change. If you have something within your soul and within your soul is telling you to say it, I guarantee you, if you just say it, it's going to matter. If you got shit that's within your soul for you to say and you don't say it, that begins to be the problem. So we're moving on to Aquarius in the fourth house. So Aquarius in the fourth house, of course, is black sheep vibes, right? And once again, it's okay to be the black sheep because you can't accept people to like you or love you, and they don't even understand the mission and your purpose. Another aspect of Aquarius in the fourth house is that Jesus healed outside of his village, right? So don't be so concerned. Like it's a certain level, especially with black people, where we just so concerned with the family dynamic. And honestly, this is what's hold us back as a people. We're tribal. We're not Aquarian. You don't just link up and hook up with random black people unless you feel comfortable. One's in the chat. You just don't go to the middle of the hood where the niggas is at to go to a party. The people that's kicking it for real kicking it is because they in a space where they feel trust, they feel comfortable. And if you an outsider, you an outsider. So when we trying to understand Aquarian energy, it's like not in your tribe. It's not so tribal. That's like ancient history. Aquarius is more centered in tech and social groups and like taking your skills and utilizing those skills in different sectors of the world of the population, like making you become internationally known, locally respected, things of that nature. So Aquarius in the fourth house is like a oxymoron, so to speak. Aquarius in the fourth house is not very comfortable. Now, Aquarius in the fourth house is a space where you like, all right, this my house. Like everybody got a house, but like I got sun in 11th house, so every room in my house got color lights. That just makes sense to me. And I would like every house that I've ever been in, it'd be like just regular lights, and I'd be like, dog, why you just got regular colored lights? Like regular color lights just don't make sense to my brain. Like I want to have a different light depending on the vibe that I'm in. That just make more sense. That's my Aquarian side showing up. So I'm saying, like, how do you live for real? You got a couch because you just feel like you need to have a couch, or is your living room an art studio? Was in the chat. Did you convert every house into apartment buildings or some shit like that? You renting out that motherfucker. It's a one bedroom, but you getting, 4 racks about that motherfucker because you renting rooms. So you taking regular, normal, everyday concepts and you spicing that shit up. Aquarius in the fourth house is like, man, get settled in your energy. So you might have a place to stay. It might be a room or some shit. It might not be ideal. And what's Aquarius in the fourth house? You like, damn, I gotta change this so bad. I gotta change this so bad. I hate this. I gotta change it. I gotta change it. I gotta change it. This is your energy, Aquarius in the fourth house. This is your energy. You like rebelling against some shit that you can't change. And it's like it gets you to the point of the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and also the wisdom and the courage to change the things that I can. So once again, Aquarius in the fourth house. I tell you, I'm gonna say this a lot throughout this build. Submit to your higher self. A lot of times we don't know what we will never know, and this is what Aquarius is about. Where Aquarius is so lucky is because it submits to its higher self more than not. And where you go always get yourself in trouble is being centered in your ego, right? So get settled. Don't try to change shit because it's going to change automatically. One's in the chat. Work with your ancestors, be led by them. And with that being said, sit back and relax. Like get into your parasympathetic system, ground and root and raise Kundalini. Oh, my family don't like me. Who gives a fuck? What you gonna do about it? Sit back and relax. You're gonna be so worked up trying to change people, and here you are, you able to live in your purpose. So it's either one of those two things, Aquarius in the fourth house. Make people happy or live in your purpose. You get to decide. So we moving on. Aquarius in the fifth house. So if Aquarius is in your fifth house, now double talent, and it's like, okay, this is the medicine, right? Aquarius in the fifth house. He's like, oh, all I do is go home and go to work and come home and go to work and come home and go to work and come home. I don't do nothing but go to work and come home. But that goddamn guitar sitting up in the corner, you know what I'm saying? That damn keyboard sitting in a closet in a vertical position, right? Girl, if you don't get a goddamn keyboard stand for that keyboard, that's bad karma. That's bad juju. Having your keyboard in a goddamn closet like that. Right? And then you sitting there, you got some talent, and now it's like, all right, let me get back to this shit. Let me put a camera on in front of me. Let me like get back into my bag. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever that is, it could be your aesthetic, it could be your talent, it could be um writing, story, it whatever it is a way that you express yourself. Sun is an Aquarius and you are an Aquarian fifth house. You want to express yourself, right? And it's a way that you can express yourself through channeling. So it's like, like let your okay. How do I do this? Hood? I told you I'm gonna say this throughout this whole goddamn video. Submit to your higher self, and then channel your higher self. Just get out there and be free. Just let it out. Right? Listen to the Gap Band. Outstanding. Stand out from the crowd. Like it's so many people, especially like if you like grew up in the '90s. If you grew up in the '90s, yo, you're like a fucking library to these people, yo. Swear to on my soul. If you like was born in 1970, like you know what I'm saying, but you got like some hipness about you, you got some youth to you. You are a library. You are a fountain of knowledge. You gotta put that shit out there. Aquarius in the fifth house, stop breaking hearts. Right? It's because of you. It is because of you. Did I say that Aquarius is a sexual sign? One in the chat. It is because of you that we cannot trust these hoes. No, I'm just kidding. Take that back. It is because of you. No, but love is capricious by nature. And once again, if you got your heart broken by an Aquarian in the fifth house, this is the karma is in this shit, right? You don't love that man more than you love God. One's in the chat. You don't love that woman more than you love God. God will always spite you. God will always teach you a lesson. You're like, I loved him so much. Did you love God like that? Did you love God like that? Okay, then that's where we need to work at. Because it's not to say that relationships are over, but it's a certain level of being connected to yourself and attracting somebody and being in a relationship that is very much balanced versus making it, forcing it, wanting it to be long term. And you didn't never check that man's astrology chart. But if that nigga had Aquarius in the fifth house and you was making marriage plans, that's on you. That's on you. He was gonna come and go like the damn wind. Okay? Like the damn wind. Aquarius is an air sign. So they be talking that shit. A girl used to tell me too. She is like, Kyrie, you a nice guy, but you do pour it on a little thick. And I never I never forgot that because I realized that I was, in fact, pouring it on thick. You know, I was talking too much. It's crazy. She already like you. You tell her she the moon, the stars, the constellations. She's like, "Oh, go give me the pussy." Why are you saying all of this? But baby, it's like when I look at you, I'm looking at the stars transcend from the nether worlds into your eyes, and it's just bringing me such joy. And it's like you was gonna get the buzz anyway, my boy. You doing too much. To balance this out, Aquarius in the fifth house, be grateful for your life, the body, and the talent that God gave you. Parable of the talents, right? Get into that Bible verse. It, if all you got is some pretty eyes, you know what I'm saying? Some people might even got like some pretty hands or some pretty feet. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got. God only gave you some pretty feet. You better get on them foot fetish sites. Was in the chat because I'm being too real right now. I'm being too real right now. I'm being too real right now. Aquarius in the sixth house. She was always gonna let you hit. As soon as you walked in, you talk about my reincarnated Venus. Come on, man. You are a star system unto yourself, and it's like, relax, my boy. Whatever God gave you, you better use it. All right, Aquarius in the sixth house. So this is a tough part. This is a tough lesson to understand in Aquarian mythology, where especially nowadays where you not even what's the benefit of you working at a soup kitchen? What's the benefit of you giving a homeless man $5 on the corner? What's the benefit? Well, rich people understand the benefit. They call it philanthropy or philanthropy, which is a specific system where you get tax breaks. But God got a system where he give you indirect blessings. So being a son in the 11th house, I'm not going to say I mastered this, but this is something that, I get irritated a lot of times with people because they take me away from my work, not because I don't want to be with them, because I like the indirect results of doing my work. I could do this video, put it out, and make no money from it, but then meet somebody and they're like, hey, yeah, da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be beneficial. This happens a lot of times. It could be, right now we getting work done in the house, getting the floors done over. I view that as an indirect blessing because that floor being done is no money coming out of my pocket, but it's being done, it's helping me. It's a financial thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but how do you get there? If you got Aquarius in the sixth house, is what I would call a social warrior. Now, there's a lot of shit going on in these streets. One's in the chat. There's a lot of shit going on in these streets in reference to mothers who need assistance, children that need assistance, families that need assistance, men that need assistance. There's a lot of people that need assistance. And if you feel like you're doing good for yourself, for whatever reason, you could need assistance, right? But generally, if you feel like you're doing good for yourself, what causes do you want to show up for? And by showing up for these causes, it's going to work out, like I said earlier, in many indirect ways. So, Aquarius is a very lucky sign. It's a very lucky energy, but that luck has to be stimulated through being directly good to humanity. So when you look up the mythology of Aquarius, it is a water bearer. And that water bearer is essentially pouring water onto the earth, is pouring good things onto the earth. And us as human beings, we would never be able to repay the water bearer. So, at what area in your life do you give unconditionally? And this would be the reference of being a social warrior. And health and wellness. So, Aquarius in the sixth house is a very touchy subject for me because I've studied charts of people that I know and love, like, people like ancestors, basically. And is more than one occasion where I'm studying Saturn transiting their sixth house, right? And they transition when Saturn is in their sixth house, not in their natal, but a transit in Saturn in their sixth house. So sixth house for me is a lot of is health is the borderline between life and death for me. It's a lot of people that say, yeah, I could walk outside and the piano can fall down over me. And I've never seen that, but I know it can happen. But most of the people in my life and my family that have transitioned because of poor health. Right? I've seen that. I've seen that with my own eyes, people that I know and love my whole life. So if you, and this is a tough subject for me. So, and one of the real proponents, the things that I like to talk about the most is health. So if Aquarius is in your sixth house, be sure to prioritize health, especially in this season, because the sun is in your sixth house along with Mercury, and very well Saturn could be in your sixth house depending on how things playing out. So I'm saying all of this to say, uh, Saturn, Saturn is disciplining, but it's not like taking care of your health, working out, prioritizing your health. Although it sucks on the front end, like I was doing a channeling session with Saturn earlier today, and he was showing me real quick like how good it feels to be disciplined. Like after being disciplined for so long, it starts to be addictive. It begins to be the only thing that you want to do is discipline yourself. So finally, Aquarius in the sixth house, let's just remember that less is more. So the less the less chaos you have in your life, the more you're able to get done. The less bullshit, less distractions, the more you're able to accomplish your goals. And in reference to Aquarius and technology, implementing AI systems in reference to scheduling and productivity to get you a schedule to say, all right, these are the things that I want to do. AI, give me a schedule that I can do all of the things I want to do. Tell me the time I need to go to sleep, the time I need to be in the bed by, the time I should set my alarm for. Give me a schedule. And AI give you a schedule in reference to what you want to do. So just think about that if Aquarius is in your sixth house. But make sure you tell AI that you're trying to be healthy too. So it can give you some health steps to go throughout these next few weeks in reference to this Aquarian month. So let me get out of here, go here, move here. Aquarius in the seventh house. This is that Jada Pinkett and Will Smith vibes. So if Aquarius is very you very rarely gonna find an Aquarius that only been with one person. And Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius, Aquarius rising, Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius. Hey, Siri, cue up that I'm a Hoe by Master P and Ice Cube. I'm a hoe, you know I'm a hoe. How did you know? Because I told you so. Because I'm a hoe, you know I'm a hoe. And you better be with somebody that understands you a hoe. If your son is in the 11th house, you're going to have a hard time getting into a relationship, even though you might think that you got an easy time being in a relationship. Because once them people find out that you a hoe, they going to be mad as hell. You an Aquarius, you think they like you. One's in the chat, you think they like you. Soon as they find out, you know what I'm saying, you trying to get into some hotivities, and you trying to explain it to them. God made me like this. I can't change. It's just the way I am. And they mad about it. So you gotta be real smooth on this, bro. Aquarius in the seventh house, you already in a relationship, cool. Make sure that relationship is interdependent. Make sure that both partners is basing their relationship based on Aquarian principles. I submit to my soul, you submit to your soul. Our goal within this relationship is to get closer to our souls, not to get closer to one another. See, in fake love and fake relationships, it's all lovey dovey. I love you so much. But we all know that that shit's not real. And if you don't know that, imagine being spiritual is still looking for some shit that you seen in a Disney movie. Like it's a lot of spiritual people that be really going to their ancestors like, when can you send me a husband? Can you send me a wife? And the ancestors was like, I did send you one, but you just fucked them. You just gave him some pussy and told him to go on his merry way because you and I into relationships. Well, how was I supposed to know? At a certain point, you gotta be accountable and responsible for how you deal with this particular energy because this is high level shit. This is not some regular I just love you so much. So you might need to give that person space to just be them. And like I said, most people when you talk about says like like I said it before, I'm son in 11th house, so I love this type of shit. I start talking about open relationships and polygamy, hoes start clutching their pearls. But shit, I done grew up around pimps and all types of stuff that they just operating and living life. So I like don't be mad at me. I'm just talking about. I always say that too. I just be talking about this shit. There's actually people living like that. So I find it interesting, and me finding it interesting, I'm just looking for people that find it interesting too. Cause don't, cause it'll be Aquarius, rebellion, unique, and then society say you're wrong. You can only be monogamous. You can't even think about it or talk about it, and that's what shut people down. So don't get shut down. If you a hoe, tell people you a hoe. Live in your truth. It's like if you a hoe, you might as well tell people you a hoe. Cause why be in a situation with somebody that don't even? I'm talking. This is not gender specific too, because it's more men that's hoes than girls. Ones in the chat. Girls be trying not to be hoes more than men actually try to be hoes. Like we be actually, you know what I'm saying? So all of this to say, like whatever your sexual status is, Aquarius in the seventh house, you find yourself in a relationship or looking for a relationship, brutal honesty is the way to go from the day one. Make sure it's at a public space. Cause Lord forbid, y'all got an apartment together and the nigga read your text messages. One's in the chat. He started going through your old Instagram messages. He tapped into your Google Photos from 2012. Tragedy. Finally, Aquarius in the seventh house. If you want to have real successful relationships, you're going to have to be compassionate because you might like. It's cool that you a hoe, but now you got to deal with a nigga with one leg because that's the only nigga that's really down for that. Now you got to deal with a 70-year-old white man because he ain't no. You know what I'm saying? You got to like. It's reality here. This is high level conversations. Lower levels, you're gonna get triggered. And I don't mean to trigger you. I'm just letting you know. All my higher level conversation people that can understand what I'm saying, throw one in the chat just to let me know that I'm not alone. Right? It's certain levels of truth that you know what I'm saying. Your truth and integrity go hand in hand a lot of times. So you know what I'm saying. Like, don't be if you don't want people to treat you like a hoe, don't be one. That's another level to it. So be intentional. Be intentional and understand like, it ain't gonna be perfect just by how you live in your life. So let's get into it. Aquarius in the eighth house. Let me see if I can zoom in at that. I ain't gonna worry about it. Over to the left is a picture of a caterpillar and a butterfly, and the caterpillar is telling him you changed, and the butterfly is like, "We supposed to, nigga. What you thought? We supposed to just stay the same our whole life?" So if Aquarius is in your eighth house during this next 30 days, if it don't align, decline. I came up with that. That was a channel. Did not. Well, maybe I did get that from Johnny Cochran. Now that I think about it, he an ancestor. If it don't align, decline. Know who you are and move in that knowledge, move in that gnosis. Over these next 30 days, we're going to enter in what I call butterfly mode. Butterfly mode is when you move through the matrix transformed. And if people don't get it, people don't understand, you're so unique. You're so different. Why won't you be like me and be the same? They're not supposed to. So when you study in the eighth house deals with Scorpio, and it's a level of Scorpio that really aligns with Aquarius, and it is deep knowledge, deep study is what I like to call it, where you're intuitively guided to study a subject and get into it to where spirit starts leading you. And we talking about pen and pad status. We talking about PDF or a book, like reading and studying and then getting concepts and studying those concepts and certain words you don't understand, get into the etymology, then relating it back to what you was initially studying, like crack codes. Like, don't live in this world assuming that everything that is known in the universe is already known. Because the reality is that it's not already known. It's a lot of things that are known through your study, through you putting things together. So if Aquarius is in your eighth house, there's a certain level of cutting people off that's going to bring you into yourself. But then it's like, yeah, butterfly mode where I never really seen two butterflies flying together. A lot of times it's going to be you on your solo mission, but this solo mission is cool because it's just allowing you to get deeper into where you're trying to go in life. And it, even if it's something like practical, like real estate or cryptocurrency or something that's very practical, get deep into it and be the first person on your block. Like, yeah, I know how to do blockchain, niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, be the first person in the world, and everybody on your block saying, well, we using cash money. We using this fiat currency that have no inherent value. You weird for translating your money into things that actually have value over time. I'm gonna keep investing my time and money into this fiat currency, and even though it's not worth nothing, I'm gonna keep going with it, right? So it's real life going on out here. And the thing about Sun and Aquarius during these next 30 days, you will be in a reflective mode. Like, damn, this shit is real. Damn, if this shit don't shake the way I'm thinking it's about to shake, I'm back to the pole with it. I might have to go back on Backpage and let people know I'm doing body rubs. 59.99 Snickers. Look me up. Anyways, let's get into it. Saturn, or I'm sorry, Aquarius in the ninth house. So this lady is very interesting to me, and when I thought about Aquarius in that ninth house, she came instantly to my mind. And I want to first say that you don't have to travel outside of the country to be experiencing Aquarius in a ninth house energy. In every major city is a Chinatown, it's a Chinese restaurant. We got jobs and we work with people of many different races. So when we look at Aquarius in the ninth house, I would say that this is international energy and dealing with your soul. There's people that I've connected with in this life from all over the world. And I'm goddamn I grew up in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Ohio is one of the most disconnected places in the world. You go to some cities and towns in Ohio, and it's 1994. One's in the chat. Right now, nigga, it's 1994. Niggas have not progressed past 1994 on my soul. So I say all of that to say, for me to have this such of a reach that I have is not because y'all fall in love with this Ohio aesthetic. Ultimately, when you deal with your soul is international. It's going to connect you to people all over the world. But once again, how do you do it? You have to submit. You have to shut down this conscious mind that say, I got to graduate high school, I got to graduate college, I got to get me a 2 bedroom. And now the 2 bedroom is 3,000 a month, and you're only making 3,000 a month. How crazy is that? The house you want costs 3,000 a month. You only making 3,000 a month. And I say all of that to say you logically worked your way into that situation. So ultimately, to rework yourself out of that situation, you gotta be illogical. You got to be unique. You have to be Aquarian. And many people do not know how to cross that boundary to Uranus. From Jupiter to Uranus, many people do not know how to cross that boundary, because a Jupiterian is a CEO that have millions and millions of dollars, but he loses that job and he wants to jump off a building. Y'all ever heard of that? Put a one in the chat if you ever heard of that situation. So he's tied his life to this institution, and we're trying to get to his level, but we don't need to get to his level. We don't need to attach to a corporate institution that's going to collapse eventually one day. What institution can we attune to that's going to last forever? It's going to be our soul. But if we don't actively deal with it, we're trying to figure things out. We're trying this, we're trying that, we're doing this, we're doing that. No, we have to get into a level of severe and succinct open mindedness. So there are certain philosophies, such as analytical psychology by Carl Jung, Nietzsche, be awesome. I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but all different types of philosophy, Ram Dass, um, Steve Jobs, if you want to get into the technology side of it. But getting into different philosophies, incorporating them philosophies, Hindu mythology, oh, like studying Hindu philosophy, meditating, doing mantras, getting into it, it actually connects you to many different people. Like you can meditate on a specific thing, get an idea, act on that specific idea, and now people is like rocking with you. People love your campaign, and it's because you trusted yourself, you trusted your intuition. So, and you might notice like Aquarian energy, you grew up in the ghetto, but now only Europeans support you. And you either gonna have to be like, damn, I'm the black sheep, don't nobody like me, or this is my purpose, this is what I'm supposed to do. How many Chinese people do you know in black neighborhoods that been in black neighborhoods for 20, 30 years? You done seen them grow up, put their kids through college, and they are not black people, they are Chinese. So it's not a foreign concept. Aquarius in the ninth house. We just need to bear witness. We need to get, this is Black History Month. So a lot of times people say, I'm a black owned business. And I don't knock it, but I'm an international business. I'm just a black person that owns an international business in reference to the work that I've been doing with my soul. The work that I'm doing with my soul is the actual benefit that I show in my business, but that's another that's probably a whole nother conversation. But I'll finish it off with Aquarius in the ninth house. When you live in your truth, it is going to resonate with people all over the planet. It's going to resonate with people all over the galaxy, all over the universe, because that's what it is. That's the goal. So it's a certain level of operating in your ego, but then it's a whole nother level of operating in your soul. And you got to begin to ask yourself that question: what modality are you operating in? So, Aquarius in the ninth house, you have the opportunity to really connect with people. But I think the prescription is you probably more concerned with what's going on in your close, intimate family dynamics. And that's going to be the thing that's going to hold you back. So Aquarius in the 10th house, followed by Aquarius in the 11th house, followed by Aquarius in the 12th house, where things get to a more political, much more upper echelon, magical ritual type of thing. And I'm using these people as examples because you might say, well, I got Aquarius in the 10th house and I'm not a billionaire like Elon Musk. I feel like if Aquarius is in your 10th house, you have the potential to do anything that you want to do. These are keys. This is what the spiritual community be always talking about when they be talking about magic. But a part of magic is intention. And if you're not intentional, your Aquarius is in the 10th house and you saying, well, I'm not a rich person. I'm poor. I got to struggle. That's actually the spell that you put in yourself. So move with a purpose. If Aquarius is in your 10th house, chances are you got a good ass job. It's paying you a lot of money. But does this work inspire you to show up every day and do better than you did the previous day? Or are you just there collecting a check? Aquarius in the 10th house, you got a good ass job, you outside of the energy. And then Aquarius in the 10th house, you'll be like, man, this AI is taking my job away from me. But the job is using the AI to further itself to become more productive. Why not you doing it? It's a science behind AI to make it more applicable, make it much more of a utility, but it requires you to get in behind that science. It is YouTube videos that teach you about how to code AI platforms. Although the video might be 30 hours, like literally 30 hours long, you go to college for goddamn 500 hours. So if you're going to say, I'm going to study this AI master course an hour a day for 30 days, let's just say in 6 months, you will be able to use AI as a utility and you got Aquarius in the 10th house, but now you got an artificial intelligence app that teaches people how to wipe their ass correctly, right? Everybody wiping from goddamn back to front, back to front, back to front, and they pushing boo boo down their yoni. And you got the app that teach them wipe from front to back, front to back, front to back, push it up and away from the yoni. Now you're a billionaire. And when we look at rich people, as much as we want to say they just got lucky overnight, the thing about Aquarius energy is that you really trust your higher self, and your higher self is going to tell you to do something that's challenging. And I woke up today and I knew I was going to study all day. I knew I was going to be studying all day, and I just prepared for it. And when I said I knew I was going to study, I just relaxed and I just calmed down. And I said, I'm going to get this. I'm going to understand this throughout this day. I'm like, and so with that understanding, that's the discipline that I needed, but I also had the patience to keep building, to keep working towards it. So I say this to anybody who have Aquarius in your 10th house, don't give up, but ultimately utilize everything that's at your resources, because if Aquarius is in your 10th house and you keep doing the same old shit, that's more or less the problem. You got to be innovative. You got to be unique. You got to be creative. And if some shit knocks you up, if some shit knocks you out, you got to get back up and figure out how it knocks you out. When Aquarius is in your 10th house, you way too advanced to be a quitter. When Aquarius is in your 10th house, you way too advanced to be a quitter. I said that twice because somebody gonna have to really sit on that. Aquarius in the 11th house. Hood, why you got Trump on there? He a white man. Why you promoting that? Trump is a figure for some shit that we can understand about how to take over. Trump is not the smartest guy in the room. I seen an interview with Trump. He was just sitting there. He was letting Elon Musk do all the talking. If Trump didn't have a whole bunch of smart people around him, he wouldn't be president. So once again, leverage and or build your network. Aquarius in the 11th house. Aquarius in the 11th house. Y'all gotta come to the table and you gotta have a conversation. Now, it's scary, I know, to start a network and build a community and you just by yourself. But at a certain point, man, we got to start living into purpose. We got to start opening these doors. We got to start unlocking these doors, kicking down these doors. And the only way we're going to do it is at a united front. But we need the instigators, we need the generators to step up. So a generator is going to be 11th house Aquarian archetype. It's a double double. Aquarius rules the 11th house. So your ability to start something is going to be your ability to just, take it to the next level. We need you to start it. We need you to organize it. Oh, you know this person, you know that person. This or you know a person that know people. Hey man, I need you a part of this team. Why? Because you know people and I need the smartest and brightest because we starting this thing. So get with people that help you execute your vision. Secondly, connect with your higher self to get realigned. Because Aquarius in the 11th house, y'all going to be the main one that say, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I never started no network before. I ain't never started no community. I'm a fucking CSR rep for AT&T, hood. What you talking about? I'm just customer service, bro. What you mean? What you want out of me, man? How I'm supposed to do that? Start a community. I don't know how to do that. If I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. Connect with your higher self to get realigned. Don't assume with spirit. That's like, and this came to me, like that's like you going to a job a year ago and wanting to get paid today. Because a lot of times people got their old ass visions and old ass taglines and bylines that they had in 2020. I'm just trying to connect the collective and blah blah blah. And it's like that's some shit that you said 5 years ago. You're not getting paid for work that you did 5 years ago. Don't assume with spirit. It's like, well, I meditated. I used to meditate all one's in the chat. Nigga tell you, yeah, I used to meditate a lot back in the day, man. I used to meditate all the time, man. I used to have a girl. I used to be talking about spiritual stuff, and she used to always tell me how she used to do it when she was 12. She's way beyond that, and I would just look at her so confused because you're not applying none of the shit that you like so above and beyond you. And once again, if you got an online business, you're trying to build and leverage your network, beef up your online presence. You got a whole bunch of pictures from 2017. I'm talking to the niggas right now. Ladies, one's in the chat. These niggas be having the most craziest online profiles you ever seen in your life. It's 5 pictures. One of his dog, just some random picture he took outside of his window. He got a picture with his friends. He wearing a weird outfit. And you asking yourself, did he think he was fresh when he was wearing this or what? Like, I'm so confused. Nigga, you got an Aquarius in 11th house. Delete all of that shit, man. Look at how these people is presenting themselves online. I tell you what, get on a dating site, but sign up as a girl and scroll and look at how these niggas is coming for your girl. Treacherous. Then look at your 2007 Android picture that you've been posting for the last 7 years, trying to get something, and then like wondering why girls don't like you. You don't know. You don't have no online presence. So be strategic at how you come across online. If you plan on doing business, be present, intentional, and persistent. And I will also say, be highly aware. Meaning that if this is how people coming, you want to be coming like that. Pause. Right? You want to have a strategy, and then you got to be with the shifts. The shit shifting and changing all the time. And they be like, well, man, I can't do that. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Clock in, be present. You trying to do some shit that happened in goddamn 2020 is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Them dusty profile pics. So Aquarius in the 12th house. This is probably one of the easiest to explain. On the left, you have Kendrick Lamar. Now, Kendrick Lamar put forward a master class on exactly to move, how to move. So Aquarius in the 12th house, you have all of the potential, all of the possibilities right in your hand, but you need to learn how to move in silence and be introspective. If you know I've said this throughout the whole entire build, but this exemplifies submitting to your higher self. When you submit to your higher self, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. When you are affirming your uniqueness, when you are affirming your purpose, you don't gotta prove that to people. You just gotta move and trust. And to be introspective is hard work. That is hard work because everything is pulling for your attention. And that's like extrospection. Introspection is saying, I don't care what's going on out in the world. I'm gonna move how I'm supposed to move or how I want to move. Kendrick Lamar's tweets is crazy. He don't yap on Twitter. He just posts some shit and go viral. Hey y'all, I'm doing the Super Bowl. Viral. Hey y'all, check out this song. I'm about to diss Drake. Viral. He moved in silence. He do not yap. You don't know how he coming. But when he come, he come. Pause. How do you get to that level? You got to have a high degree of inner work. You got to have a high degree of trust in your soul. You got to, once again, be solitude. You got to live in a level of solitude. What is solitude? Solitude is the realization that nobody can help you except your soul. Like, I mean, people can't help you. Aquarian nature, like, we here to help each other, share all of this shit. But ultimately, when you trying to get to where you trying to get to for real at the highest level, you got to trust your soul and you got to come across so unique. That's how people have made it. Because if somebody telling you blood sacrifice and you know how hard it is to make it in the music industry and you gotta damn near sell your soul to be a part of it, and you want to be spiritual, you want to have some knowledge of self, and you want to exist in this world like Kendrick Lamar is, you can't let these people know how you coming. If Kendrick Lamar was a yapper, he would have been got canceled. He would have not been on the Super Bowl. He would have not got 5 Grammys if he yapped, right? And he's a Gemini. He probably want to yap, but when you understand and understand your purpose and what it takes to really make it, man, you gotta be strategic out here. So over these next 30 days, Aquarius in the 12th house, get so secure in what it is that you want, and don't tell nobody shit. Hey man, we got this kickback on Saturday. You coming through? We popping open some brews, bro. No, I can't come. What you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna meditate in the dark for 5 hours. Huh? Yeah, I'm meditating in the dark for 5 hours. You cool, man? You good? Yeah, I'm good. What you on, man? Nothing. I already told you. I'm meditating in the dark for 5 hours. I'll see you. when the sun transits into Pisces, or maybe when the sun transits into Aries. I'm doing deep shadow work over the next 2 weeks, next 2 months, or until further notice. I'm gone. So that have been my slideshow, my presentation. It is now 7:07. I went 7 minutes over, but it's all good in the hood. Got to get to the gym before they close. Got to get that workout in for show, for show. Man, before I get out of here, man, if y'all interested in spiritual development in a way that's unlike no other, man, I suggest that y'all tap, not walk, but run to the Chakra Nova 777 intensive. It'll be prorated by the week. So whenever you join, you will get the reduced price. But with that being said, you will still get past live recordings, but you'll get access to the special Discord where we're there sharing and growing. And, I'm just keeping people abreast and afloat what's going on with me. Any additional information, please visit hoodmystic.com. Maybe you don't want to do every chakra, but you're really interested in the sacral chakra. Book that class at hoodmystic.setmore.com. But that's also another place where you can book a reading with me. Maybe you want a one-on-one spiritual consultation, an astrology reading. I do this for real. So if you're interested in learning more about your sidereal chart, you know exactly where to come to get that real shit. But with all that being said, let me hurry up and get to this gym. Make sure you like the video, share the video to those who might experience, who might you feel might benefit from learning about this. And man, I have fun. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope you come back to it to get your mind right. With all that being said, let me get up out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all evening. I'll see y'all all on the flip side. Before I get out of here, though, I'm the Hood Mystic. This has been another edition of the Shift Report, where shift happens.
The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.